So this is my hair before cutting it. You can see it's right about where my pants line starts. And I always do the V cut just because it's the easiest cut for me to do by myself. Normally before I cut my hair, I will wet my hair and then section it off and cut my hair and then immediately get in the shower because of all the hair pieces and everything. Well, for the sake of this video, I have already taken my shower and I have blow dried my hair, and then I straightened it with the end styler, which is just kind of like a straightening brush. So it's not stick straight like as if I would have used a flat iron, but I just wanted to get some of the curl out so y'all could see more of the definition of the actual hair, and that's why I wanted to do it dry, which I don't normally do. I normally do it wet, but it would have been harder for y'all to see the details of the actual hair. And a lot of times whenever I cut it, I really don't fuss around with it a lot. I just kind of do it. And I know that sounds bad, but I have a lot of hair, so I have like a lot more leniency with my hair because it is so long. So if I mess up, it's really not a big deal. And I would say too, another thing would be the first few times you cut it, to definitely do it dry so you can see how the hair is going to lay, because it is going to be different than it is wet. Like I said, I normally cut my hair wet, but I have a lot of hair and I normally let it air dry, so it's curly, like somewhat. It's like wavy / curly. So I mean, it's not as, I don't do it like to be as precise. Now if I was straightening my hair every day, or if I had straight hair already, then that would be different. But because my hair is curly, it's different every day. So just keep that in mind. So cut your hair very gradually, and if you're not sure, then go and have a hairstylist do it. And if you are going to attempt to cut your hair at home, then you need good scissors, hair cutting scissors. You can buy that. I got mine at Sally's. You don't want to use like kitchen scissors or regular scissors to cut your hair with. They have to be really sharp and to cut your hair dry. So those are the 3 top things I would say. I have a garbage can here. This is going to be the longest part of your hair. So I'm just going to take a comb and comb out my hair, and I'm going to try to get as much of my hair in the frame as I can. So you just want to make sure that you're combing out all of the knots. So the thing that I have found is just an easy way for me to be able to just grab my hair and just cut, because I've done this so many times, is I try to pull my hair in a straight line. So as I'm pulling my hair out, I try to create a flat like horizontal line with the top of my hair, and that's my gauge, or my that's how I keep both of them equal, if that makes sense. So if you're doing it at an angle, it's going to be harder to get them both the same because you have to be at the same angle on both sides. So, and it's just something that I just do just because it's the easiest way for me to tell that they're going to be the same, and then when you throw your hair back, that they're both going to be symmetrical. So I'm gonna pull straight out, and then I'm gonna cut into the hair. So just cutting up. I don't know if you can see this. Just cutting up into the hair. And you basically just want it to be straight across, but you don't want to cut straight across. You want to cut either at a slight angle or just straight in. Because I do this all the time, I really don't cut that much, but it never fails. Anytime I cut my hair, even if it's 1 inch or 5 inches, someone always comments on my hair either the next day or a couple days after. Somebody always comments on my hair and says how long my hair is. They're always, it's weird too because it's right after I've cut my hair. So I've just pulled my hair straight out, and see how it's kind of bowing right there? Because it's been about a month since I've cut it, so some of the hair growth, you know, it grows at different rates, I guess. So I'm just kind of thinning out that section. And I would just say to take your time with it, and just do it gradually. And there's always, I mean, if you cut a little bit at a time, you can always go back and do it again. You know, it's not, I would rather cut a little bit at a time than to cut too much and then be sorry that I did. So that's my baseline. So this is going to be the longest part of your hair. It's just going to have like a little bit of an angle, but when it gets pulled to the back and with the rest of your hair, you'll see how it comes together, and it actually does create a V in the end. I'm just letting my hair down, and I'm going right above my ears. And sometimes I do this in more sections, sometimes I only do a couple of sections. It's really just, I guess, how I'm feeling at the time, how much I want to cut off, and I guess just like how much time that I actually do have to do it. And I do it so often, I would say probably once a month I cut at least about 1 inch of my hair off, but it grows back really quick. My hair is really fast growing. And another tip I would say is, if you don't normally cut your hair, is to keep the new sections thin, and you basically want to be able to see through to the section that you just cut. So I'm pulling it straight out, and see how it's already kind of grown into a bowed shape. So I'm just going to be cutting straight up into that. And basically just making it more level. And it doesn't have to be perfect. If you can see, I mean, it's not a blunt straight line. And to me, I don't ever do this with like great precision. I just cut up into it, because basically what I'm just trying to do is just kind of renew the hair. I'm just getting rid of some of the dead split ends. So I'm pulling my hair straight out and then just cutting up into it. And what I sometimes do is I'll pull like my hair or separate the hair out with my thumb. If it's too thick of a section to go in and I think it's probably going to cut too much, I will basically like just fan it out with my thumb. I'll pull some of the hair down as I'm cutting to kind of thin the sections a little bit. If you are working with too much hair, to just take that the section on the bottom, just pull it together. So you're basically just taking the length of your hair, like your starting point, and then just put it behind you. And then once you have the length behind you to get some hair out, you're going to re-separate your hair down the middle and then just pull it forward. And it'll kind of lighten the load, so as you gradually go up, you could do that. Just pull a little bit more down and then out if you want, because, well, if you have a lot of hair like me, your poor little comb is going to get like bogged down. See, it's like struggling to go through all of the hair that I have. And the more hair you have, it's going to make it more confusing too, to see where your line is supposed to be. So periodically you can pull the pieces together, see if they're adding up. So just take any section on like equal, like both sides of your head, and just kind of like run them together. Make sure that they're equaling, like to the same length. And because this is the top of your hair, you're gonna want to make sure that these lines are gonna be matching up. So you want to spend a little bit more time on this section because this is what people are gonna most see. If it's already straight and you're going up into it, you're basically just thinning it out so it's not as heavy. Sometimes my hair gets so long it's hard to reach out that far. As you can tell, it's like I'm barely able to reach as far as my hair will go. And usually that's when I know when my hair needs to be cut, is when I can barely pull it out and trim it. So as you go, you periodically just want to check it, make sure they're both falling in like the same manner. Just kind of double check certain pieces. So this side is a little bit longer. Here, I'll show you. So you just take sections from the same area, you meet it in the middle and pull it down. And see, this area is a little thicker. So I'm gonna actually go back into this. And this is where on the top pieces you want to spend a little bit more time. So you want to be a little more thorough with these. Now unclip the back section. just pulling it all together. And when I get to the top sections, this is where I double check a lot. So I just pull everything together and basically just make sure that it's flowing nicely, where I don't have, I mean, you'll see if you have like a giant piece sticking out. So this section to me is the funnest section, where the bangs are. And I used to have straight across bangs and I loved them, except for having to style them. Like, I loved the way that they looked on my face, but to actually have to style them every single day because my hair is not naturally straight, and I do have wavy curly hair, so that to me was such a pain, especially if you're out in the rain or if you just go swimming and then you just like don't want to have to do anything afterwards. You can't do that if you have bangs and your hair's curly. Like it just doesn't work. So it didn't really work for me. If I had had straight hair and didn't really have to fool with it, then I would have bangs now. But I don't. So the next thing I'm going to do, which may seem weird, I'm actually going to pull like from a little bit above my temples. I'm going to do kind of like a rounded and then basically grab all of the hair on the crown of my head. And I'm going to pull it down. I'm just going to brush all of it forward. I'm going to, looking in the mirror, I'm going to find that horizontal line. So you want the line flat, still coming out. And then you just want to cut up. I just go a little bit further in. So each time you do it, you just get a little bit smaller radius. And I'm not actually cutting hair off. I'm just cutting up into it just to thin it. So I'm not really changing the length of it so much as just the thickness of the actual layers of it. If you're getting confused about where you end up, before you let your hair go, you can kind of see like where the next level would be that you would start. And then just gradually get smaller and smaller in towards the very middle. And if you don't have bangs like me, this part will be easier because as I'm pulling my hair out, my bangs are falling into my face, so I can't really see that well, but I just kind of stop where I think the hair is about to stop or about to end, and then I just pull my fingers down like that. So pull your hair up, see where the next line is. So I know that I'm going to go a little bit further in, and I can kind of feel in the back of my head where that line stopped. So just keep going a little further each time. And I know it seems tedious, but you really want to do this step because it's going to thin the top level out. And for me, because I have so much hair, I really need this. Because otherwise my hair, it's just going to be too heavy. Now if you had really thin hair, you could probably get away with not doing this. So for me, the last step are my bangs, and I don't really like to cut a lot of this off because I'm trying to get them to grow out, so I want them to be a little longer, but I am going to trim them a little bit because I want them to be a little more healthy. So I'm going to thin them out just a little bit, just pulling some of the hair back. Pull them out straight. That is it. So now I'm all done, and now I have hair all over me. So I'm just shaking it into the garbage can right here. So the layers that I have, I mean, they're not like really pronounced, but I mean, I don't really want my hair to have lots of layers so much. I like the long layers. I'm just trying to get my bangs to grow out so they can be incorporated into the longer layers that I have. But I'll show you the back so you can see what it looks like. So I don't know if you can see all of my hair. You see it's at a V. I really didn't cut that much of the length off. And if you can see like all of my hair, it's hard to get all of me like in the frame. So that is how I cut my hair at home by myself. I will have another hair video going up soon of my hair care routine. So if y'all want to see that, I will be doing a video of that pretty soon. So I hope y'all guys enjoyed it, and just like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll check y'all back next time. Thanks.